Welcome to the Daily Cash Flow. My name's George Robson.
I'm Peter Siegel.
And today we're going to talk about how everything equals opportunity. We're going to talk about MBA or not to MBA.
Good one.
And the coronavirus.
You say it's so light.
I know. Yeah, it makes it sound nicer than it is.
Yes.
So, some heavy stuff today. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Stop messing around, stop fooling around, stop delaying, stop procrastinating. Get up, get out, get it done. Everything is possible, nothing is a problem, and anything can be overcome. I just get my ass up out of bed, I get my shit together, and I get out and I start the fight. And that will transform you from a mere mortal into a superhuman being. I've never, ever, ever met anybody who told me that they got rich watching their IRA or their 401k.
Peter, can you talk a little bit about this whole idea of everything equals opportunity?
So the concept that everything is an opportunity is really a fundamental core belief that I think is present in every successful person and every positive thinking person. It's up to us every day, day in and day out, to work on our radar screen so that we're picking up these opportunities, finding them, identifying them, and then that combined with a get up and go mindset that we've talked here about before gives us the ability to really take action on these opportunities. And the opportunities can be little things or very, very significant things that happen in our life. For example, everything from getting a great deal at a garage sale to finding your true love, maybe identifying the spark for that great idea for business that you've been thinking about for a while.
Just having that awareness. Yeah.
Awareness is key, but really identifying what the opportunity is and what you're going to do about it is key as well. A lot of slice of life moments that happen every day for all of us. Being in a grocery store, waiting online at a crowded cashier line at a grocery store, and then a cashier goes to the adjacent line that was previously closed, turns on the light, and now that's open. What are you going to do? You're going to stand there? You're going to rush over and be the first one in that line? That's a fun one that I see all the time. I see it every time when I go to a store or a grocery store, any kind of store.
It's a big thing because a lot of people, as soon as you get in a line and you feel even a little bit of resistance, you're on your phone. You're like, oh, yeah. I could just there. And it's a pretty good analogy for life of just being buried in whatever the thing is in front of you and not being aware of the opportunity that's in front. Yeah, just right next to you.
Be ready.
Yeah.
I see it a lot in New York. When I'm in New York City and I'm out at restaurants, and all these restaurants that are great are always crowded and they're loud and they're busy and you can't get in and you have to wait a long time for a table. And things happen, tables open up, the line thins out, people get dissuaded and they leave, and then all of a sudden you find yourself right there next to the maitre d' or host with a couple of tables that have now just magically opened up. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to nudge the host and say, hey, we're sitting here, we're ready to go? Or you're going to wait your turn patiently for another hour and a half while they serve you at midnight for your food? I mean, so there's little things like that really happen for all of us in business, not in business, and it's up to us to identify these moments and seize the moment. So when these things happen, I want to ask everybody out there, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to stand idly by while these events occur and just somehow justify not taking action? Or are you going to take action, seize the moment, and get some sort of result that's better than you would have had you not done anything? So I like to challenge myself all the time. I say, Peter, what are you going to do about it? And I want to challenge people who listen to this. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, it's interesting with everything equaling an opportunity. It's not just the radar. It's not just seeing the opportunity. It's the action. And you've talked about this before about the difference between discerning what's necessary or having an idea and actually executing on the idea are two different things.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to business questions. Question number one, should I get an MBA or should I just start my business and learn as I go?
Man, that's a big one. So I get this a lot. I'm plugged in with my alma mater where I went to school, with a business school, and so I'm constantly thinking about this topic throughout different times of the year. It's a great question. It's as personal for people as, am I attracted to blondes or brunettes? The issue of being interested in business and then deciding to get an MBA is a different issue than it was a long time ago. When I was growing up, and for my brothers and for maybe our parents, graduate school, the environment of higher education, getting a graduate degree was all occurring in a way different landscape and against a different backdrop than it is today. You know, we used to make decisions about going to college and going to graduate school based on increasing our employability and increasing our potential earnings. Nowadays, with the internet and with the way the world economy has evolved since that time, really it's different for all of those reasons. The internet being the biggest one, where for no money, for free, if you have the drive and you have a plan, you can use the internet to sell things, to sell products and services, to earn. And network. And people are gaining skill sets in a way that are different than how they gained them before. You know, it used to be necessary to get an MBA if you wanted to get a job. And corporate hiring is very, very different now. And you know, now really the primary advantages of getting an MBA, if you find that you're interested in business, is if you decide that you want to work at Deloitte or McKinsey. Stereotypically, a lot of young people conclude, without really knowing better, oh, I want to work at McKinsey. That's what I want to get my MBA for. And I always find that funny because I hear that 8 out of 10 times with people that they want to be at McKinsey, and it's a very funny thing. Meanwhile, McKinsey and Deloitte hire from really only a small handful of schools that are putting out MBA students, and for the rest of the world, it's just an impossibility. Look, the internet gives so much opportunity now that if you think that you want to get a graduate degree because you'll earn more or be more employable, consider other things. If you want to gain expertise in something, I tell a lot of young people to go out, align yourself with that key organization or key opportunity, and work for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, and get that skill set developed and acquire those skills. Because if you're not going to work at McKinsey and if you're not going to work at Deloitte and you're interested in business, you got to be an expert in a lot of different things. We've talked about that here. So specialization in one narrow core focus is great, but in order to succeed today, we want to be specialized in many different areas, not just in one thin area. So I tell people to, if you're not going to work for McKinsey and get your MBA for that reason, to go out and get to work.
It kind of goes back to something we've talked about before, of knowing your goals and really knowing yourself, and that it may very well be that an MBA is necessary, but it takes really knowing exactly what you want to do before making that decision.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
And the admission and enrollment trends right now at colleges and graduate schools all over the place are really under attack, because the marketplace for young people seeking to design a career or a skill acquisition path for their 20s is way different than it was, and people are going out and starting businesses, and they're working for companies in these Swiss Army knife types of roles, and these are new skill sets and new roles that are around today that weren't around before. It's a really interesting thing to see, but these graduate schools are really scrambling to try and find ways to attract more young people into their admissions fold. You'll see a lot of that from these schools. They're looking to alter the traditional MBA curriculum and replace a lot of that curriculum with things like sustainability and more of a deep dive into finance and entrepreneurship. And what I hope that they do is also focus on personal skills, presentation skills, marketing skills, communication skills, eye contact, handshakes, conversation skills, things like this, which I think needs to be reinforced, and we need to be taught more of those things.
Absolutely. Coronavirus is in all the headlines. It's really taken a toll on markets. Interest rates are tanking. What are your thoughts as a businessman, as an investor, and as a human being that's undergoing this time?
We see that interest rates are starting to go in the dumps, and that's a trend that's going to continue for as long as this scare is out there. And it's even wrong for me to call it a scare. I mean, it's real, it's here now, it's going to be here for a while. Supply channels are constrained. People are worried about getting products from their favorite stores, and they should be. People are already starting to make decisions in their business and personal lives driven by this coronavirus element that's out there. Conventions are being canceled, international travel's being canceled. You're going to see places like Las Vegas struggle to draw in customers for the rest of this year. You're going to see airlines start to slash prices. I've already seen it. There's one leg that I do frequently. It's typically $480. I looked this morning, it was $90. I think the airlines are going to be doing more of that. We make adjustments in our personal lives to deal with all of that. A little bit of fear, a little bit of protecting ourselves and our families. You know, maybe we're going to hunker down at home some more. Maybe we're not going to go out. Maybe we're going to go to the store once a week and get as much as we can, whatever's there on the shelves that hasn't been stopped in the supply chains, versus every other day. And I think that that's going to continue to persist for really the remainder of this year, and it's going to affect prices for goods and services. It's going to affect people's ability to earn money. It's going to affect corporations' abilities to produce and ship product and sell product. So really everything that we're used to in our daily lives that we probably take for granted is going to be highly affected. As an investor, so as we know that I invest in and develop multifamily income producing real estate. And so this is a category that I think is going to actually be very stable and flourish during this scary time and this pivotal time.
That's interesting. Why do you say that?
Well, in real estate, by the time the coronavirus effects trickle to real estate, people are going to be signing leases for new commercial spaces at a slower clip, for new office space at a slower clip. And after they decline to sign that lease, they're going to go back home to their apartment, lock their door, cook their food, and when the first of the month comes, they're going to send in the rent check because they need a place to live. And so income producing real estate, apartment buildings continue to be a great place to put money and to be invested in during times of fear and uncertainty, and as well as many other times, during times of prosperity and the upswings and the arcs and curves, and also during times of contraction, times of expansion. Real estate, commercial income producing real estate and apartment buildings have outperformed most every other asset class. And so here we are with this coronavirus situation going on. And I know that the last place I want to be right now, especially after the past week, is the stock market. So where are you going to put your money? Are you going to put your money in T-bills, which are paying next to nothing, as we see, because the Fed's cutting rates again? Are you going to look for opportunities? And if you're going to look for opportunities, what are those opportunities going to be? I suggest trying to find a local market expert that makes investing in commercial income producing apartment buildings available to you if you're an accredited investor. Siegel Capital makes these opportunities available, so you can always check in with us or DM me or PM me and see what we have available for the accredited investor. Now, you have to be an accredited investor, but times like now with the coronavirus fears and with interest rates plummeting are perfect times to reallocate cash and look at your investments and try and get into some income producing real estate.
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to, again, the everything equals opportunity thing. Is a lot of people would look at something like the coronavirus or times of uncertainty or unexpected incidences as, well, this is just out of my control and I just can't do anything about this. And those are actually the moments where the greatest amount of action, the greatest amount of execution is necessary to take advantage of those.
What are you going to do about it?
Right, yeah.
What are you going to do about it? Things happen every day in our lives, good, bad, neutral. What are we going to do about it? So we have to make these decisions, and we have to have a radar screen that allows us to make these decisions. And we have to have that attitude, that get up and go attitude, that will then also enable us to make decisions. Yeah. Making decisions is important. Making good decisions is even more important. And you have to have a get up and go attitude combined with a good radar screen to pick out these opportunities. So yeah, I mean, for me, I continue to operate our portfolio of apartment buildings. I continue to look for new opportunities of apartment buildings to purchase. With commercial income producing real estate, if in fact you are an expert at your local markets where you own, you'll be able to identify in up markets and down markets all of the time where to position yourself to be in the right place to make money. Whether it's buying, whether it's financing, whether it's value add projects, there's always opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
All right. Let's move on to Zest Quests. How do you say no? Time is precious. Time is a precious commodity. How do you best kind of say no and either not hurt people's feelings or do it effectively?
So if you're a successful person, if you're a busy person, look, we're all busy. It's modern life. Life is crazy. Prioritization is key, and knowing how to prioritize and tackle everything that comes along your desk in a day is key. For me, I put everything that comes up in my daily life into categories. Family, business, health, recreation, friends, philanthropy, travel, things like that, or sort of the categories that I will look at and prioritize off of. I mean, for me, it's clear family, business, and health are paramount and come before anything else. For me, I identify those things as needs versus wants. I try to over prioritize in the needs, and then if I'm successful at that, I then am able to get to the wants. But for me, I need my family to be okay. I need my health to be okay and for their health to be okay. Look, when you have health, you have everything. So you really need health. And with my business, I need my business to be okay. I need to make money so that I can take care of my family. And people will challenge me sometimes, sarcastically or not, challenge me that I've put my business on the same priority level as my health and my family, because maybe it's not as altruistic to do that. But really, in functional day-to-day life, I need my business to be successful so that I can take care of the people that rely on me to take care of them.
They're connected. They overlap in that way.
Look, I want to go on vacations. I don't need to go on a vacation. Maybe I work so much that I need to balance the work with other types of time in my life. Vacations would be a good thing to balance work time with. But I can do that in other ways, achieve that balance. But I don't need philanthropy. I want to be philanthropic. I enjoy it. But really, I have to take care of my family and my health and my business first. I mean, without my business, I can't be philanthropic.
So first step to saying no's and prioritizing is categorizing, figuring out what's important to you.
Create categories, figure out what's important to you. Again, awareness. Think about what's important to you and prioritize based off that. Look, it's tough to say no. We all want to say yes to everything. I think saying no in these circumstances is another one of these opportunities that we've spoken about a few times here. When I say no, I do so in a way that keeps me connected and keeps me plugged in. For example, if I have to say no to someone for an event or attending a function or being with someone, saying yes to an invitation, I have to say no to the invitation. Maybe I'll call them, have a very heartfelt conversation. Maybe I'll write a handwritten note. I'm so sorry, I can't come. Very too often, we just simply check the regrets box and send it in. And while that's fine, we send the message we can't come. We're saying no. If you do that too much, you risk losing the connection and losing the fire. And for me, I think life is all about maintaining a connection and keeping that fire with people and things and places. And so I'll look for those opportunities. If I have to say no, I'll send an outsized bouquet of flowers. Or if I have to say no, I'll send some other personalized gift. Or if I have to say no, I'll pick up the phone and I'll find the right moment to call you, and we'll reconnect over a nice long phone call, and we'll agree that we'll have to see each other next time. But I think it's important for us to do that with everyone and everything in our lives, because that's how you stay relevant, that's how you stay connected, It's how you stay plugged in with the things and the people that are important to you. So if you have to say no, but say no in a big way, and make it memorable. Make your no memorable.
And that's another opportunity.
It's a huge opportunity.
It's that situation where saying no seems like it's only going to be negative, and that can actually be way more of a positive than just showing up to the event itself. The way in which you say no could actually set you apart.
Yeah, I think we all know people that live their lives in this sort of perpetually overbooked fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really incredible. I mean, there's no time for anything.
It's easy to do nowadays.
It's easy to do, and we all do it. It's a little bit much. It's stressful sometimes. So it's a real skill to be able to say no. Just when you say no, say it in the right way and say it in a big way, maybe in a memorable way as well. Yeah.
So, last question. Do you have any unusual habits or absurd things that you love?
Unusual habits or absurd things. I mean, in my life, people have often referred to me as absurd many different times. I'd say when I was a kid, I used to bounce my head up and down on the pillow at night to help me fall asleep.
Did that work?
It did. And my family had all sorts of funny nicknames for me, and they would watch me bounce my head up and down on the pillow and think I was nuts. Today, I'm a practical joker. I love practical jokes. I got that from my dad. I mean, my dad loved practical jokes, being both the target of them and then doing them to other people, and I've come to love that as well. And I'll often carve out some time in my week to try and find a victim of a Peter Siegel practical joke, for sure.
I got to be careful.
Yeah.
All right, well, great. Thank you so much, Peter. Appreciate it. And
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.